reality, the trigger word. Should that be the title for today's video? Cold day in Japan, a little more season like. I'm supposed to, before we get into what I'm talking about, I'm supposed to be getting a new Wi-Fi. The company said they'll send me a better portable Wi-Fi. This is twice in a row I've bought the most expensive one, and I basically have almost no fucking connection besides being able to send a message or something while I'm out. It's fucking terrible, so I think they should just give me my fucking money back, but whatever. But reality to the trigger word. My little monologue, just talking to a wall before I fucking start the day. I saw some comments. I made that video recently where who was in the right, who was in the wrong. And, I saw some comments and, did people even watch the video? Like, I like looking at some of the comments, like one guy was like, oh, you're a straw man. You're trying to straw man him. Were you the perfect tenant? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, first of all, he's the one who said it was for free. And make no mistake, like I said, I'm in Japan right now for free. Every trip I take is generally for free. You know what I mean? I don't have money for lodgings. I'm lucky enough that I have friends, you know what I mean, that actually do house me or have done real estate, so I have my own place. I save all my money. I live very frugally. I've showed before when I was winning all those video game tournaments, I had a 10-inch TV, dude. I didn't have some good setup. I've been duct taping my controllers before. I don't have a lot of money. I save my money and I live very frugally. So I save money for the plane ticket. I do travel, credit cards, all that kind of stuff. And then hopefully the place I go to, I can have a place to stay. You know what I mean? So all my trips to Japan have been free. So anyway, the thing is, the guy said it was for free. First he said it was for 6 months. Then he changed it to, well, I can't do that much, but if you come right now, I'll give you a place, right? And I'm like, okay, I don't have time to try to find a cheap ticket, but this is a great opportunity to have my own house in Japan, so I'm going to take it. And, I said before, I think it's the fact that the dude basically was like, oh, fuck, I didn't expect someone to actually buy the house, like, immediately right after COVID. I expected it to take a few months to sell, so I would give it to Clayton, right? Which was cool on his part. But then he's like, oh, fuck, literally Clayton just got here, and someone just like, oh, I'm going to buy the house outright. Now I have no place for you to stay, basically, Clayton, so you're fucked unless you want to pay me. That's what I assumed happened. Now, you could also say the guy, the person's like, oh, well, you think you're a perfect tenant? Dude, like, when I got there, I had no fucking refrigerator in the first place. Did he make the last person pay for a new refrigerator? Because the last person fucked up the refrigerator. He had to buy a whole new one, apparently. I didn't even want the thing plugged in. You know what I mean? Like, unplug it. I don't need, it's like, oh no, well, I don't want to do that until, the next person actually moves in. So you deal with it. When I was there, I had to clean out gunk out of the fucking shower drain, the sink and all that kind of stuff, because it was nasty, right? Now, he said that, oh, well, you use more power than I thought you would have. So besides the fact that it was supposed to be for free and I paid $1,800, he's like, oh, well, that's what got me. The fact was, I was like, you know what? I've stayed for free before. This sucks, but I have stayed for free before, so it's been a great opportunity. I'll just think of it, whatever, right? But of course, the whole trip went terribly. I lost that necklace since I've had a kid, walked on train, pants got ripped, had to pay for a more expensive plane ticket. I constantly got sick, so I had to pay for taxis. It was not a good time. I ended up losing like fucking $3,000. It was terrible. It was basically trying to make the best of a bad situation. But I was like, whatever, he's done good by me before, right? So I'm like, fuck it, I guess, what are you going to do? But like I said, it bothered me when then he was like, you should actually give me another $600. The fact that he said that, I know. No, I don't fucking know that. Because as a matter of fact, something that I didn't even mention in that video is if you actually look at the exchange rate at the time, technically, when I gave him $1,800 US, that was about 2,400, 2,500 even, maybe even a little bit more, with inflation at the time in Japan. So technically, I actually already have given him that. Dude, so I was just like, are you serious, dude? So I saw some comments like, oh, Clayton's an idiot, whatever. He thinks that someone was going to give him a free place to stay, or, you got scammed. I'm like, dude, I said before he's giving me a free place. Not like I don't think he was purposely trying to scam me or something like that. And then I saw some people like, "Oh, you were a bad tenant." I was a bad tenant. What? Like, are you? What, me? So the thing is, when I talk about the, so anyway, like I said, it bothered me because I was like, you should give me another $600. I'm not going to make you, but you should. And I was just like, he's like, but we're cool if you don't. And like, I don't know if he was trying to guilt trip me, and it's like, well, I'm not giving you fucking $600, dude, because like you for something that was supposed to be for free, you already got $1,800, and technically it was about $2,500 with the inflation at the time. So you got whatever. So anyway, in fact, he said we're cool if I don't, and I'm like, well, we're not really cool, so whatever. But anyway, I saw comments when I'm talking about this reality as a trigger word, and people just want to assume the worst about people, dude. Oh, maybe you were bad. Like, well, where was I in the wrong? And it's like, I feel like that's generally in my life for people that try to be, you must have done something. Like, if you've watched my channel for a while, is that not always the case? Well, we don't know of anything that you've actually done, but you must have done something. What did I do? Like, dude, I feel like people have like I said, reality is a fucking trigger word for people. Like, dude, some people just want to assume you're bad, dude. You must have done something. You must have been bad. It's like, bro, you guys, quotation marks. How long have people been trying to make up lies about me on the internet? Oh, I must have done this. Like I said, how many cliche times have we talked about people have lied about me being sick and all this kind of shit, and then openly bragged how lying about me made them money. Like, this shit has been going on for years, and I see comments like that, and I'm like, well, you must have done something. Were you a perfect tenant? You're literally like making it up in your head. You can't, again, it's like, how many years now, dude? Since I was a fucking kid, dude. And maybe just people in general in the world, sometimes you make up lies, like, oh, this person maybe, it doesn't even have to be as extreme as, say, my situation. Like, oh, maybe I'm afraid to talk to this person. They might not like me, or maybe I'm not good enough for this person. You know what I mean? Blah, blah, just basic human insecurity. But I'm focusing on the more when you take it from being a insecure person to a actually negative person, It's just like, yeah, it's like, dude, I have so much quotation marks bad things that I'm like, my piggy bank for being able to do bad things at this point, I think is very fucking high. It's like, dude, it's crazy to me. It's like, bro, I've been, like I said, I think those are the reasons that the comments bother me. Those because it's like, dude, I've morally sacrificed my life to make myself miserable. I've done so many things in my life. And you're judging me based on a criteria of other people who you can't even tell me of them doing something nice, who are constantly doing evil things, And I understand, like I said, that, the trigger word for me, reality-wise, is that I'm a retard for trying to constantly do all these nice things and trying to believe that the world is a good place. When it's just like, dude, Clayton, you're just weird that you keep doing that stuff, Most people aren't like that. You're weird. And, for sure, for some things, the way that I am has helped me, let's say, there are some people that donate to the channel sometimes, and I appreciate it, some more than others. Some have given, a fair amount of money, even, I would say. And geez, there's even that, I've talked about that one person. She's kind of wants to remain anonymous. And actually, there's another guy who's donated quite a bit too, who has said to be anonymous. But, there's one person in particular who has donated, quite a large amount of money, actually, in gift cards and, but, even they, that situation I've talked about before is a strange one, because I had been talking to them for months. And then basically they were like, oh, hey, well, I just wanted to tell you, actually, I've watched your YouTube for a while, and I just kind of wanted to see that you were the person that you say you are. And now that I know you are, you know what I mean? Because you have no idea who I am. You didn't know I was watching your YouTube. We've just been talking this whole time randomly. Now that I know you're a good person, I want to do nice things for you when I have the opportunity. And so I guess that's a situation where, I guess maybe me just being open and trying to give everyone a chance has worked out for me, so to speak. But, generally speaking, my personality, my moral code, whatever you want to call it, has not gone well for me. It's just, I don't know. I need to just realize that the world is a bad place. Stop trying to find the good in things, And like I said, I always feel like my piggy bank of being able to do bad things is so fucking high now that, it's just, the piggy bank is high. The piggy bank, there's a lot saved in the piggy bank. And technically, even if I was to do a bad thing, I feel like, is it even bad? Because compared to what other motherfuckers do, how often people lie, I guess I would just be normal, right? And, and again, I was thinking about this too, because not just some of those messages, but I saw that one message. There's this one girl, she's commenting on the videos, and I've talked to her before. It's like, dude, I've talked to you. Your English is not good enough to even understand my videos, these topics we're talking about. You think I said something in this video? It's like, dude, I've talked to you in English, bro. That's not even what I said. Trust me. I know that your English isn't good enough and fast enough to understand these videos. And she was trying to say some bullshit. I'm like, come on. And I got this other weird message I said yesterday too, at least on my Instagram. I got this weird message from this person from Italy who supposedly doesn't speak English, but their English was suspiciously good while they were insulting me. And I was like, your English is pretty good for someone who just told me they don't speak English, right? And they were like, you're so pretentious. You think anyone would ever want to steal your pictures, somebody like you? And I was just like, yeah, people have been stealing my pictures for a long time now. And they're like, oh, why? You think you're good looking? You think someone would ever steal your pictures? That's really pretentious. And they kept saying that word. And I'm like, yo, dude, here, do you want pictures? Look at these. This has been happening for years and years. And they're like, oh, well, I don't know why someone would steal your pictures. Do you think you have the Adonis playbook or something, they said? And that's why I was like, the Adonis playbook. And I'm like, you don't speak English? I'm like, I've never even heard of this insult. That's a pretty, I'm like, dude, the Adonis playbook. I'm like, listen, I don't think I'm cool. I don't know what you're fucking talking about, dude, but your English is pretty good to be randomly insulting someone who has done nothing to you, acting like I'm lying about people who have stolen my pictures on the internet. And they're like, oh, well, I can just tell by your behavior and how you're speaking to me that you're so full of yourself. You think you're so much better than everybody else. And I'm like, dude, the only one that's been pretentious and full of themselves is you. You've been a cunt to me in these messages, and you're having a bitch fit because I showed you that you're wrong. Being like, oh, I'm not going to go down to your level of insult, so I'm just going to block you. And they blocked me, and I'm like, what was the point of that? I'm like, first of all, this seems like a fake account. And you just go and random message people, and you would assume they must, looked at me a little bit to randomly be insulting me. It's just kind of like, bro. And it's like, what have you done? You're like, you pretentious judging me. Like, bro, I just think about this shit like, man, I've been dying in the hospital. I was still helping people. I've wasted my fucking life with this fucking stupid moral code of what I thought was a good person. You know what I mean? And I just like, those are the messages, I guess those are the messages that bother me. Like those kind of like questioning my morals when I like look at other motherfuckers. And it's like, bro, check yourself. Because I know you fucking haven't done what I've done. You know what I mean? And it's just like, dude, I wish I was cool. You know what I mean? Because trying to be what I thought was cool or what I tried to tell myself is cool apparently is not very cool. So it just makes you look suspicious when you're actually trying to be the best person, If anything, like I said, I wish, God, dude, who knows? Like sometimes I think that, I've said it before, sometimes I think that me not having the desire to use people, me not having that desire to randomly be mean to people, sometimes I actually wonder if it's like a hormonal problem. Like there's something wrong with me that I've not had that sort of aggressive aspect of my, nature, maybe to have that drive, maybe in a way people that are evil or out to get people, there must be some sort of drive or passion or enthusiasm or, for lack of a better word, to actually act like that aggression, And I've never had that idea, and for sure, of course, some of that comes from a insecurity standpoint, but there's different, sides of being insecure. I'm insecure in my own way. I don't like myself as a person. I wish I was cooler. It's maybe why I'm always trying to struggle constantly trying to be the best version of myself because of that insecurity. But my side of the insecurity spectrum, let's say, has never made me want to take it out on others, I guess. If that makes sense. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, anyway, reality, the trigger word. I'm just like, man, I'm reading these comments like, bro, you guys want me to be bad so much that you can't even, it's like, I'm just going to imagine you must have done something. You must be evil. Even though we can never find one thing that you've actually done, you must have done something. And it's like, well, guess what? You'd think you'd be able to show something, even a sliver of it. Anyway, that was my monologue for the day. If you like the videos, like, subscribe, comment, share, support, channel if you want to appreciate it. Thanks, the end.